Let's talk about a feeling that's kind of become this quiet hum in the background of modern life. It's this sense that everything has gotten a little bit, well, boring.
I mean, have you noticed it yourself? This subtle feeling that things just don't hit the way they used to.
It's almost like the volume on life has been turned down. Movies, music, even just hanging out. It feels like everything's lost its flavor, right?
And then, in those quiet moments, maybe when you're lying in bed, it just creeps in, this weird nagging feeling that something is fundamentally, deeply off. So let's actually try to put a name to this thing, because this isn't some personal failure. Nope, it's a shared condition, a kind of hidden fog we're all navigating. Let's call it the feeling of numbness. So what does this actually feel like in day-to-day life? Well, you open up Netflix, scroll for 20 minutes, and just nothing looks good. You scroll through your phone, and when you look up, you can't remember a single thing you saw. That new thing you bought? The thrill lasts, what, a minute? And those small joys, like a good cup of coffee or a sunny day, they just barely register anymore. It's like your whole emotional range has just been flattened.
Now, it's really important to get this straight. This isn't necessarily clinical depression, and it's not quite the same as total burnout. It's something a little different. It's stimulation fatigue. You're overstimulated but completely undersatisfied, and it shows up looking a lot like plain old boredom.
So what is actually going on inside our heads to make us feel this way? Well, that brings us to the science of it all. What your brain looks like when it's just completely overloaded.
Okay, to get this, we have to talk about dopamine. And right off the bat, let's clear up a huge misconception. Dopamine is not the pleasure molecule. Not really. It's the molecule of motivation. It's that chemical kick that makes your brain go, whoa, pay attention, this could be good. It drives you to seek the reward.
And this right here, this comparison, it shows you the entire problem in a nutshell. See, our brains were built for the natural reward loop. You put in high effort, you get a meaningful outcome, and you build real, lasting satisfaction. But the digital world created this brand new loop, super low effort for an instant, cheap hit. This doesn't build satisfaction. It just builds tolerance. It means you need more and more and more just to feel okay.
And this kicks off a really nasty cycle of desensitization. First, you've got constant stimulation, thousands of little dopamine pings all day long, with no breaks, no valleys. So what does your brain do? It tries to protect itself. It goes into survival mode through something called downregulation, which basically means it starts turning down the volume, lowering its own sensitivity. And the result? Real life, the normal, everyday stuff, just starts to feel way too quiet, flat, and painfully slow.
I think this quote just nails it. It's like trying to live by eating candy for every single meal. Yeah, it's sweet, it's cheap, it's easy, and it leaves you totally empty. You end up feeling overstimulated, but at the same time, completely undernourished. Okay, so where does this all lead? Well, the consequences are serious, but they're sneaky. They don't happen overnight. It's more like a quiet decay, a slow erosion happening in the background.
So here's how that decay usually progresses. First, time just starts to blur. The days, the weeks, they all kind of blend into one because nothing feels special enough to form a strong memory. Then, a little later, your emotional depth starts to get shallow. Those big feelings of joy, awe, or even just simple curiosity, they get dimmer. And eventually you get to a place where your main goal in life isn't about chasing meaning or happiness anymore. It's just about chasing relief from this constant low-level dissatisfaction. And this is why we have to completely redefine what boredom means today. It's not about having nothing to do. We have infinite things to do. No, it's the loss of emotional contrast. When your baseline is always kinda on, nothing can ever feel truly up. You can't have peaks if you don't have any valleys. The end of this road is pretty stark. You become comfortably numb. You're just a spectator in your own life, watching it all pass by without really truly feeling any of it.
Okay, that sounds really bleak, I know. But here's the good news. It absolutely does not have to be this way. There is a path back. Let's talk about how to start rewiring your brain and actually reclaim your ability to feel.
In the turning point, the first step, it's not some huge dramatic action. It's much quieter. It's just awareness. It's the simple realization that this feeling of boredom isn't the enemy. It's not something you need to run away from. It's actually a signal. It's a doorway.
So how do you walk through that door? You start with really simple, tiny acts of recalibration. Seriously, try this. When you wake up, just wait 10 minutes. Just 10, before you grab your phone. Have your morning coffee in total silence. No podcast, no TV, no music. And maybe take a walk and just leave your headphones at home. These little pockets of quiet start to reintroduce your brain to the real world's pace.
Because what you're really doing with these small changes is rediscovering something fundamental. It's the massive difference between a quick, cheap hit of stolen pleasure and that deep, lasting glow of earned satisfaction.
And all of this, it's really leading us to a final crucial idea: embracing the quiet, learning how to find the meaning that can only ever grow in the stillness.
Think about it. Our entire culture is screaming at us 24/7 to chase excitement, do more, see more, buy more, all to feel alive. But what if that's completely backward? What if being alive isn't something you have to chase down and capture? What if it's something you just return to once you get quiet enough to find it? Which brings us to the final question. What if boredom isn't the enemy? What if it's not a problem we need to solve with another distraction?
Because maybe we've had it all wrong. Maybe boredom isn't an empty space at all. It's a necessary one. It's not the absence of meaning. It's the waiting room. It's the quiet place where, if we can just learn to sit in it for a while, meaning finally has a chance to return.